But guys, no, guys. So this EFF leader, Secretary General, it's these communist titles, but but so this guy is at a humans rights event right now. This is Marshal Dlamini, the Secretary General of the EFF. And so he's there to talk about human rights and what happened in Sharpeville in the 60s. And but this is exactly what is the full problem in this country. And this journalist, of course, will never correct it and say, but wait a minute, what's going on here? But anyway, hear him for yourself. He blames apartheid for stuff that happened long after apartheid was finished. Okay, but here, listen, hear him for yourself. So he's at a rally.
We are here to commemorate and remember where we come from, and we are here to remind South Africans that what our forefathers fought and died for, it has not been achieved. You know that the PAC led by Sobukwe, they fought for land. They fought for freedom of movement when they were here in Sharpeville, when they were shot because they were refusing to carry passes, to carry passes to move freely in their country of birth. The racist white apartheid regime, yes. It kills one of them. About close to 300 were injured. Yeah. Children died here. Their blood flowed into this Lomodem. And things turn now, 30 years later, into democracy. The people of this.
Okay. So he's here because he wants to remember what the evil apartheid government did. You had to carry a pass. You had to all of that. We all agree. We all know the history. And it was bad. It was evil. It's been agreed by every South African, by the international community. No one in the world says apartheid was bad. So we are in full agreement. Evil, wicked government policies were passed and injustice was the order of the day. So he says he's here to remember that because what's happening now?
Area of Sharpeville, they are still a forgotten community. Their lives have not improved. Unemployment is rife. The disease is rife because there are no healthcare facilities. Crime is rife in this in this area. So we're here to remind our people that it's not yet Uhuru. What our forefathers fought for and stood for, the issues of land that Sobukwe passionately fought for, it has not been returned to our people. So the president and the commander in chief will come and outline that to give us that historical journey of where we come from as black people in this country, but to remind us that we are here, we still have to work hard and make sure that we fight for the true liberation of our own people. As we can see here, that the lives that they were living during apartheid and now it still look like it was something of yesterday. Nothing has changed. Our people, they still complaining of the basics issues: access to water, access to electricity, access to clean community. This area, you can see, it's filthy. Everyone wants to come to, even I'm sure even tourists, when they want to know where black people live in South Africa, someone must just say, go to Mfuleni. That's where you're going to see rubble, and then you're going to see damaged streets and sewer running on top of the streets and running into houses. As you can see, sewer that is running into this beautiful dam. That's supposed to be a tourist attraction. There's supposed to be some economic activity happening around this beautiful dam that is here, but nothing, because we're a leaderless society. But the president will come here and take us through that journey and on the issues that has to do with what is currently happening in the country.
Whoa. Wait. Listen, tell me if I'm getting this wrong. There's a calendar here. The one ended in 1994. He spends an hour describing how evil it is, how destructive it was, how it killed people. Okay, but that calendar stopped 30 years ago. And then 30 years till today, the commander-in-chief is talking about is an ANC Youth League leader. They are recent friends who are now no longer friends, MK, ANC leader. Now, then he says nothing's changed. The health facilities have fallen apart. Under who? He spends hours describing apartheid and doesn't spend a single second explaining that Julius Malema is responsible for sewage going into the river. That didn't happen under apartheid. He doesn't explain that his party, the ANC, which this is just a breakaway of it, are the ones who collapse the health facilities. So in the end, he's blaming apartheid for everything that has happened the last 30 years. And so this is what keeps this country going in a circle and going nowhere. Because you continually blaming apartheid. Nothing is ever, we did this didn't work, and now we're changing it. It's just, we'll do more. We need to do more. Who says we need to do more when the first project didn't go well? Oh, but these guys, you can't. But these guys, you can't stop them. So you first can't, you've got to describe apartheid strongly, and then everything that's happened in the last 30 years, it just all falls under apartheid. Nah, man, there comes a time when we can't blame apartheid. There comes a time when we need a different, I personally, I'm sick of hearing about apartheid. Really. It's genuine history. It's good history. It was bad, but I can't that every single time you hear any of these Marxist politicians who are, because what did this do? It's part of the brainwashing. Let's indoctrinate the people. They must forget right and wrong, because then they'll ask about VBS. They must forget good and bad, otherwise they might see that we are actually bad leaders. They must keep thinking white oppressor, black oppressed, so that they forget the morality that stands in our way. These are evil, God-hating agents of Satan, activating the forces of darkness on the country so that the country can continue in poverty, unemployment, and struggle. Why is the health system falling apart? Apartheid. Why is there sewage running into a river? Apartheid. Why are the people at your rally unemployed? Apartheid. No, it's because you blocked the economy from growing. I don't know, tell me below if you agree. You know, economic growth is actually the easiest thing to have. Why? Very simple, because people wake up in the morning and go to work. Some people wake up every morning and they have ideas and dreams of products or services they want to come up, because every leader of a company spends hours and hours figuring out how to grow their company. Now you just need 10% of them to succeed. That's called economic growth. Economic growth, I know the communists will tell you that the government needs to bring economic growth. No, the government can only oppress people and stop economic growth. Otherwise, economic growth is automatic. Think about it. I'm doing this channel and I want it to grow with no one telling me to, because I want to. Guess what? If I'm left alone, I add something to the GDP. And that happens all. The only way to stop economic growth is that the government is oppressing business people. And you know these communists hate. I mean, EFF is even extreme socialist. They hate business with every fiber of their being because they don't recognize business people. They only recognize black and white, which means what? Oppressor and victim. And that's what he's doing now. He's playing victim. He's saying, I'm a victim because of apartheid. And even though I've been in power for the last 30 years, look at all of these things that are happening. I'm still a victim. Victimhood stops prosperity because it never takes accountability, right? Because he who covers his sins or his failures will not prosper. But whoever confesses and forsakes them will have mercy. If the ANC, EFF, all of them, it's all ANC anyway. If they had said, guys, this Marxism doesn't seem to be working, the economy is not growing, poverty is growing, collapse is growing, our hospitals were better under apartheid than they are now, this is not working, this is a failure. If they had stopped covering it with apartheid, we would prosper as a country. If they would just confess, which means admit and let go of that, we'd have mercy. We'd be growing at 5% per annum. Meaning, if we had grown at the same pace that we did during the commodity boom of Thabo Mbeki, a lot of people go on about how he grew the economy. There was a commodity boom, so we don't really know. But if and then by 2008, more and more laws were passed and people started getting more angrier and divisive, economy tanked or at least stopped growing the past 17 years or more. If it had grown at the same rate, 75% of unemployment today would be gone, meaning we should be talking 10% unemployment. We wouldn't be talking budget and all that. We wouldn't be talking VAT hike. But it's because if you don't confess your sin, you can't prosper. Listen, no man can serve two masters because he will disrespect the one and respect the other. He will love the one and hate the other. You cannot serve God and Marx. Let's hear your thoughts below. Tell somebody to tell somebody, share the video, and go ahead. Let me know what you think down at the bottom. Okay, later.